My name is Zach Hopkins and I work for projects and development. So growing up as a kid, I had a pretty normal childhood, I thought. I played sports, my mom had a job, my dad had a job, and I felt like I had a normal home. When I was about 11 years old, I tried marijuana for the first time. But when I was 15, I got in a car wreck and my friend died in that wreck. So that's something most 15-year-old kids don't see. You know what I mean? My best friend died in my lap. And the next day, I tried Oxycontin for the first time. It had been December 22nd, 2006, and pretty much never stopped until I came to treatment or went to jail unless I was forced to. Probably one of my biggest crisis moments was I was actually homeless at the time, and somehow I ended up in Nicholasville. And I went to Walmart and I bought about 700 sleeping pills, and I took 120 of them while I was in there. Last thing I remember was being arrested, and I'd told someone what I'd done, so they continued to call my phone. And for some reason, the cop answered the phone, and they told him I tried to commit suicide. So he took me to the hospital. I woke up, I was in ICU on a ventilator, strapped down to a bed. Didn't know who I was, how I got there, nothing. And it was like it all just came back to me at once. And that woman asked me if I knew how I got there, and I said no. And she said, well, you tried to kill yourself. So I felt about that big, you know. It was pretty tough, especially when my mom and dad showed up and I'd realized what they had to see when they walked in there. So when I first entered treatment, I was court ordered. I was actually in jail, and I told them I didn't want anything to do with a faith-based treatment. And they're like, well, too bad, you're going to Ashland, Kentucky to a place called Sanibel. I was mad. I was actually so upset about it, they had the sheriff's department transport me in shackles and handcuffs because they thought I was going to run. And so I got to Sanibel, and at first I didn't really know what to think. Everybody was being real nice, and once I did my intake and I walked up to the house, the nurse came up to me and she was like, so what was your issues, honey? Asking me what kind of drugs I did. And I told her that opiates and speed was my problem. She was like, well, that's okay. It's a lot of our problems, I understand. We're going to love you back to life. And I was like, love me? How you gonna love somebody like me? Like, I wasn't used to hearing that, especially with how I'd treated people in my past. So I was shocked. And as I continued through my phase one, I started seeing people that were just like me, having 18 months amount of clean time, and knowing that they were no different spot than I was in just a couple months ago. So I thought God was always something I had to chase after. You know what I mean? I had to find it, had to get a hold of it, and I never felt like I could growing up. I missed the bar, and so I was confused about it. And I was in phase one, and a pastoral counselor, Scotty Gillum, was telling me that the spirit was inside of me, and I just had to learn how to let it out. And that was just monumental for me, because I didn't feel like I had to chase it anymore. I already had it. I just had to learn how to operate in it and use it. So one way that I feel the Spirit is playing music, worshiping Jesus. There's nothing like in the world when you're playing and people are worshiping God, and He's using you for a vessel for that. How I picked up my first guitar is one of my buddies, he was left-handed. So when I first started learning, I had to learn how to play upside down because I didn't have a guitar. So I had to play on his left-handed guitar. And then once my mom and them seen that I started playing, I was probably 16, 15 years old when I got my first guitar, and they went and bought me one. So then I began playing. I mean, my life was kind of the same way, you know. Everything started backwards. At a young age, I was using, I wasn't in any type of ministry. I really didn't even know if I believed in God. And to what it is today, you know, it's crazy. It's completely opposite. I didn't think a life like I live today was possible for people like me. But God, where God's brought me to today, I went from being homeless, you know, and having nothing to, He just blessed me with a house. He's blessed me with a child, a wonderful fiance. He's also blessed me to operate in a ministry at a church, doing tech. I've done sound, lighting, video, even got to play music there. So, I mean, He's gifted me with a lot of things, and not only that, it's allowed me to bring others into that ministry and allow them to operate in the ministry through that as well. So I'm allowed to bring people on a team and allow them to operate and learn how to use their creativity to help them as well. God gives us all talents, He gives us all a gift, something. Whatever that gift is meant to be used for the kingdom. And I would encourage anybody to do so.